In this video, I will teach you how to classify elements in periodic table. I have used an Excel sheet to create my periodic table before transferring it to Paint program. I recommend you to use an Excel sheet so that it will be easier for you to remember and memorize the elements in the periodic table. Otherwise, you may also print out from any online sources available or even draw your own periodic table. If you notice, the periodic table has altogether 118 elements. Today, I will explain the classification of these elements in periodic table. All these elements have been grouped into different groups according to their physical and chemical properties. There are altogether 18 groups of elements separated by 18 columns and 7 rows indicating the periodicity property or repeating properties of these elements as we move down the rows. This is the main reason this element table is called periodic table. Now notice that I have placed 8 color-coded element classification at the right side of this spreadsheet. Well, that's because the periodic table consists of elements from alkaline metal, alkaline earth metal, transition metal, basic metal, metalloid, non-metal, halogen, and noble gases. Before classifying each element, please take note that each element in this periodic table is given an atomic number, denoted with its symbol in the center, and element name below the symbol. Now let's begin with the first element in the periodic table, which is the hydrogen. Now hydrogen is a non-metal element. It has an atomic number 1 denoting proton number 1. As we progress towards the right side of the periodic table, atomic number increases by 1. The second group or the second element that we are going to talk about is helium. Helium is a noble gas. Other elements which are also classified as noble gases are neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, and organesson. Moving on to the next element in the periodic table is classification of the first group of elements known as the alkaline metal elements. These elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. Next is the second group of elements which are classified as the alkaline earth metal elements, which are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. Now, most of the elements which are located at the middle of the periodic table are classified as the transition metal elements. Now, some of the well-known elements in the transition metal elements are titanium, iron, copper, silver, tungsten, platinum, and gold. These transition metal elements are good heat and also good electricity conductors. All the transition metal elements exist as solid at room temperature, except for mercury, which is in liquid state at room temperature. Among these transition metal elements, elements with atomic number 57 to 71 are classified as the lanthanides, which are also known as the rare earth metal elements. Apart from that, another element series with atomic number 89 to 103 are classified as actinides. Some of the well-known elements in actinide series are uranium and plutonium, which are very well known for their radioactivity. Both these lanthanides and actinide series have been separated simply because to accommodate the lengthiness of the elements covering its respective group. Moving on to the next group of elements are the basic metal elements. Basic metal elements consist of aluminium, gallium, indium, tin, thallium, lead, nihonium, flavorium, bismuth, moscovium, and livermorium. Now, as for the metalloid group, metalloid groups are also known as the semi-metal elements. Now, these elements are boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, and polonium. Next, we'll look at the group 17 elements classification. These elements are classified as halogens. These elements are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine, and tennessine. Finally, the remaining non-metal elements are carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, and selenium. I hope the video helped you to understand better about the periodic table element classification. Thank you, and that's all for now.